Marvel Rivals. It's a game that a lot of people gets addicted to since its official release on December 2024. It takes the masses like storm, not just because of their unique hero mechanics and playstyle, but because of this art style. I genuinely like this art style. It low-key reminds me of the movie Into the Spider-Verse, which I think totally makes sense because they're both aiming to capture the comic book vibe or art style, which is a good idea because since the release of AI art and its rapid spread across the internet, people are now craving for authentic art that really shows human creativity on every piece. That's why I think this is one of the key factors why this game is so popular to people. These random lines, texture, and coloring style is the result of real person's thought process. I don't think AI would be able to replicate this stuff, at least for now, yes. So for this video, we're going to study and try our best to mimic the Marvel Rival art style and capture the feeling it gives to people. But instead of Western comic characters like from Marvel and DC Comics, what if we fly to other side of the world and draw anime character instead? And we would call it Anime Rivals. We're going to select random characters and redesign it to fit into Marvel Rival universe. And by the way, if this video gets 500 likes, I would make another Anime Rival video featuring your suggested anime characters. So make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below which character you wanted to see in Marvel Rival style. But for now, here's 10 characters that I think has the best qualities to be in the verse. The reason why I picked these characters because of these 3 main reasons. First, they all have visually striking powers. Second, strong personality and presence. And third is iconic silhouette and costumes. Now, let's allow this wheel to decide the fate of this alternate universe. So, the Wheel of Fate chooses Maka Urban from Soul Eater. Well, she's pretty cool, to be honest. I personally like to draw Maka before. Now, I finally had a chance to draw her. First thing I did was to gather a bunch of Marvel Rival images as much as I can, and analyze all of them so I could perfectly mimic its style. To be able to fit her into the Marvel Rival universe, I made a simple sketch alongside her original design and started adding some armor, accessories, and even exaggerate some parts to match the aesthetic of futuristic vibe that Marvel Rival gives. I started by making the overall pose first, but for some reason I forgot to hit the record again. So at this moment, I was trying to add the necessary details needed for her design and make sure that it at least gives the feeling of futuristic vibe to it. After the final line art, I started painting in grayscale first. Then using overlay, I started filling in the local colors and added the iconic Marvel Rival rim lights. Then, I started rendering. And here's the final design. I also made a Marvel Rival hero profile in her background so she would look like she actually exists in the game. I think it actually turned out great. Not as good as the real ones, but at least we tried, right? And finally, it's time to rest.
No.
We're not going to stop there. I decided to push myself and challenge myself a little bit more. So I decided to make one of these amazing MVP screens on Marvel Rivals. It's kinda similar to splash art from League of Legends and other games, where the main focus is to visually attract the audience by showing the character in an epic dynamic pose, capturing their personality and essence, making players eager to dive into the game. I started sketching the thumbnails. One thing I noticed in Marvel Rival is that they often choose a pose where A character is in the middle of an action or movement. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's super cool. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, I totally forget to implement this. I don't know, maybe I was too excited to make this illustration. I realized it when I already in the middle of refining the sketch, and I already like the pose, so I keep going instead. Maybe next time. Anyways, let's continue. After refining the sketch, I blocked out the base color and added the rim lights. Then I started rendering. On rendering stage, I simply used these two brushes and a lasso tool by simply blocking out the colors and considering the forms. For the head, I use a tool called a Sarrow head. It helps me identify the major planes of the face and how lights affects them. I'll share the link at the description so you can check this out. By the way, it's totally free. After blocking in the colors, I added a little bit of texture above it, like these special lines that adds texture to the illustration. I also avoided blending as much as possible since the goal of this video is to mimic the Marvel Rival style, where you can clearly see the colors are not blended and the brushstrokes are very visible. I did the same method with the rest like the clothing, weapon, and their hair. Then I started refining the background, but not that much since it is not the main focus of this illustration. After that, I added more details to the character, including these lines on the rim light. That gives chromatic aberration effect to it. I make sure to mimic the overlapping lines effect to capture the energetic vibe it gives. I also added a little bit of detail like the overlay texture on her clothes and refined the illustration even more. And after long hours of drawing and sleepless nights trying to copy Marvel Rival art style, finally, here's the result. I'm actually really proud of this illustration. If I'm going to add more to it, maybe I'll make it even more dynamic, add a bit more texture and improve the design for clothes and weapon. But yeah, I think I can consider this as one of my best works so far. I'll post the HD version of this as soon as I made the Patreon account. Again, if you have an anime character suggestion, comment down below so I can add it on the wheel and maybe get a feature on part 2 of this Marvel Rival art series. And check out my videos to show your support. And see you on the next one. Bye!